Everything.
Well, you've never been muted.
Everything.
Oh.
I heard everything.
Well, you've never been muted.
Well, hey everyone.
Everything.
Well, hey
You can hear
everyone.
me now, right? For real? All right.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to another
Well, hey
exciting
everyone.
roundtable discussion here at Super Desperation Radio Studios. The time is 6:34, so we're only 4 minutes behind schedule, but you can't tell the difference anyway. I'm of course joined by my co-host, Man Chest, Mecha MacGyver, Lord Walkman, and Super Effects, and I am a talking head that is currently suffering from full body dysplasia.
What?
Hell pockets. I can't do it. I suck today. God.
Quick, somebody take over. Somebody actually with energy or a love
somebody-
of life.
Well, hey everyone.
Oh.
Why is this?
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god. I am just. All right. Everything's good now. Cool.
Okay. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So how's everyone this weekend?
I'm tired, man. Not as tired as Chris apparently, but I'm
Yeah,
tired.
we need to figure out why he's tired exactly. I mean, he sounds like he's dying.
He's tired because he's a complainer.
Yeah.
I'm not a complainer. I played a solid 3.
That was the most complainy way of saying anything. I'm not a complainer.
Just saying, I played a lot of football yesterday, and sure it was touch football, but I don't think a lot of
Wow.
guys-
Really?
when you're no. See, here's the problem: when you're a 280-pound man and you're running at full tilt, it's not that easy to stop that kind of body on a dime. Sometimes you end up rolling over somebody's tinier Asian boyfriend.
Now here's the question: how many beers did you have prior to the touch football?
I had about 2.
All right, that's probably what it
But I
was.
also had about 3 pieces of boneless fried chicken.
Well, that gives you energy though.
Yeah. Leaves a weird aftertaste in your mouth, like you just like chewed Play-Doh.
Man, don't even lie to us, dude. You know we're playing fucking flag football.
I would never play flag football. F
You
that.
just showed up today. It's like, oh man, you have no idea how hard they yanked my flag yesterday. I'm done, man. I had to get a new belt.
That wasn't a flag.
All right. Well, Walkman, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. As you can tell, there's a lot of blending going on. Actually, it was pretty terrible. Now that I think about it, I really enjoyed watching you guys play Guilty Gear on stream, but the whole part where the whole time I was just laying on my bed looking at the computer screen doing nothing was really terrible. Like I felt pretty sad. I'm like, wow, this is so cool, entertaining, and look, all these people I know are playing games and just having a good time, and here I am interacting with them using text on the screen, and they barely do whatever, they're doing their own thing. So that's cool that you guys got to do that, and I really enjoyed watching, but not being there is a completely different story.
I have to echo those sentiments. I was a
That
little
was so very sad.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I mean, there's nothing really to do out here.
But you know what? At least you weren't. At least you weren't getting really tired playing touch football like Chris, because then you could really complain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play touch football with you guys and see how you like it. Just give me a
You
month.
fall on me, I'm not gonna like it. But normally that's what happens when a heavy object falls on a very light one.
Touch football is a flawed concept. You cannot play. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. How could you play touch football without
Football
tackling
is
someone?
like something they made up. It's like a buzzword they made up in gym class so that they could avoid getting sued by people's parents, man.
But the
Really
exact same
happens.
situation still happened, except in this version of it, it's called an accident.
But anyway,
So, all right. So, Sanchez, Paul, and I, 3 of us were all together this weekend, playing Guilty Gear.
Yep.
I'll start with you, Paul. You're the Guilty Gear guy, and it was held at your place. This was all you're doing. How do you feel the weekend went for Guilty
it
Gear?
was fun. I honestly haven't sat down and played any game, I don't think, for as long as we had that stream going on in years. It's probably like 5 or 6 years since I just sat down and played a game that long. For anybody who doesn't know, who might have missed it, we ran a Guilty Gear stream for about 11 to 12 hours from my house on I Play Winter on Saturday into Sunday morning. A lot of old school SoCal players came through. We had some notable people. We had Jimmy Chan. We had Mr. Broken Tier himself, Paul Kugler. And then we had a bunch of us jobbers. So It was a lot of fun. The archive goes on forever. It's all in one continuous track, so
We'll
there's
have
probably
it
a
up.
lot of filler in there, but
We're gonna have it up on IPW's YouTube account pretty soon. I'll say within the week. It's currently on Twitch archive. If you do want to go back, watch it, go for it. The first 5 hours maybe has no commentary,
yeah, it's true.
so you can actually watch it while listening to us right now, and you'll be set.
Oh yeah, and we had Mr. Mike Z of Skullgirls fame. He
Mhm.
came in and he spent about 2 hours playing people and pretty much giving everybody the mollywop.
That Potemkin.
But it was a lot of fun. And of course, on the heels of this, Arc Systems work officially delays the Plus R patch for everybody, but we all kind of saw that one coming since we have approximately 18 days left of spring when the update was supposed to release in spring. So
Hey man, it's Arxis. They still have time.
that's true. I mean, there's definitely, regardless, we all kind of saw the delay coming. They still have 18 days left of spring to tell us something. I'm hopeful that we get some kind of update before summer starts. That would be awesome. I'm not holding my breath, but I'm not completely defeated by the prospect.
Well, I wonder exactly what they ran into that's the problem, because I'm assuming it's netcode.
That's the only thing I can figure too. Is that
Right.
it is something to do with that, or like trying to actually input lobbies into the system that they've created.
Without it
So-
completely screwing up on them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lobbies would be nice. Didn't they mention something about adding lobbies?
Yeah,
Once
they were
plus
actually
starts-
supposed to add lobbies, and I think the catchwords they used were improve the online experience. So
The question about their internet is that I remember when BlazBlue first came out with Calamity Trigger, that online was pretty good. Like, it was very reasonable.
yeah,
And I felt like with every revision, the connection got a little bit worse. I mean, I didn't play anything past like CS2, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It just
You
felt
know-
like it kind of diminished.
from everything I've heard from people who played BlazBlue online, and I played Persona online on both 360 and PS3, Arc Systems Works netcode is normally at least playable.
Hmm.
But I know with Guilty Gear Accent Core when it came out, it was so hit or miss. Like the first couple days, I had great connections to SoCal all the way to people in the Midwest, and then the next week, like week 2, I heard that everybody was saying it was unplayable. I had some really laggy connections, and I know Alex has actually played some online recently, and he said he gets 1 or 2 good games, and then the connection will just go completely to shit. So I'm not even sure what the problem is.
Yeah. You'd think that with the infrastructure they already would have with other games, that they could just apply it to Guilty Gear, but maybe because the system's a bit more archaic and less similar, it's harder to do so. I don't know.
Maybe. It seems like when you play in player matches, when you first connect, it's probably that's your best game out of whatever set you're gonna play, because the next game after that is always underwater.
Mhm.
I never understood that.
Yeah, I don't know how it just falls apart. It feels like something wasn't handled during QA or something like that.
Yeah. They're gonna play best of 3. What the fuck?
You get best of 1 and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really love to see
Oh.
that. I really feel it. Like we talked about this, I don't know, 1 or 2 shows ago, but in the day and age of where everything is and all this crazy internet connectivity, cloud storage, and all that, I mean, you'd think that fighting games and other games in general would just have better net code by now. That would be like a top priority, because people are always connected. So why not help them connect together in a game that they want to play? That's not, Call of Duty or just some dumb other game where it's like, okay, it's fun, do whatever, but
Yeah.
Uh.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the lobby system for Accent Core, and you look at when it's the same pretty much for the Vita release of Plus R, it really looks like they just kind of tacked that on. Like they spent $5 and some shoelaces, and they just kind of made some sort of weak ass infrastructure. It doesn't really look like anybody gave a shit. Is kind of the problem. It doesn't even the menus don't even match up.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it was just one of those things that are like, oh yeah, we're gonna put this on PS3 and Xbox 360. Shit, we totally forgot those things are online.
Would you have felt it would have been better if they would have just merely released Plus R, not given us Ascent Core Plus yet?
I think at this point that'd be the best.
I don't think that's good. I'm glad we have the game. Honestly, above all else, I'm really glad that Accent Core Plus came out for next gen systems. I think it's helped, and I think we're starting to see people really get drawn into the game. The good thing is for those people, this doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
They just still need to learn the game. So that's okay that Plus R isn't coming yet because they're still in the throes of learning the game. And a new update is not going to be that significant for them yet.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
But at the same
for
time,
those of us who've been playing the game for a long time, it's just kind of like, really? Alright, I guess we're playing the waiting game again.
no bells and whistles just yet.
Welcome back to the 90s.
But at the same time, it doesn't like certain people in like the anime game community, like if it's not the latest version, they just won't play, like Melty Blood
Well, see,
or.
there's always been somewhat of that sentiment, that feeling. I know definitely there were people over here on Saturday who said they wouldn't play at a Guilty Gear side tournament at Evo if it wasn't Plus R. And honestly, that's their choice, but I don't really see the point.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
dumb.
I'm not gonna play if it's not the newest one, because if the newest one's not available, you just deal with it. The only problem we ever had was in the past when we weren't allowed to use the newest one because it was only out in Japan and not in America. Those were the problems we always had. Like, Guilty Gear always came up against that. Like, we were still playing Double X when Reload had been out, and most of us had Reload already.
Mhm.
That was a huge issue because a lot of guys had imported PS2s and they were playing it. Or when Slash came out, and this kept going. So I think that shouldn't be a huge issue or a huge deterrent. I think people are still going to come out and play the game because it's a good game.
Mhm.
So
I have a question for you, Paul. So
sure.
actually, this also goes out to everyone. It's just kind of a general thing. So you play obviously Guilty Gear Ascent Core Plus.
Yep.
But are there people out there that are purists in the same sense of like, because you've also played Street Fighter 2, but you play Super Turbo, right? But they have the the hyper fighting purists, like that was it, nothing else,
So this almost actually happened. There were a lot of people when Accent Core came out who dropped out of Guilty Gear because they didn't like slashbacks or force breaks or what had been done to their character.
Yeah.
And there was sort of a small sub-movement of people who really wanted to go back to playing Slash for a while. But it never really materialized.
Mhm.
People there was a lot of talking that, never evolved into anything more than some talking. I know some people who would be like, yeah, when people come over, we'll play Slash, but it was mostly just, a few guys in a room here and there. It was never any kind of tournaments from what I remember. So.
So it was kind of more
And
like.
then you had I was going to say you had the PC Reload community. That was pretty big.
Yeah, apparently people still play PC Reload.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. That game is so broken. I mean, I don't know how the lag is, but good games against Eddie and RoboKai. Have fun with that. RoboKai, the easiest, third or fourth best character in a game ever.
Dang.
Back when the split missiles did like a fucking 90-degree turn.
It's more like his command throw into 90%.
Yeah.
I steal all your meter, Roman cancel FRC, I do a combo, you're dead.
Dang, that sounds.
This is good, well-designed character right here.
Yeah, I think Sharp Reload was the first one I ever played, but I have gone back and I played like X for the Dreamcast and things like that. But a lot of these, like, I never explored Guilty Gear enough until recently, so I still don't know a lot of the little silly things from the old revisions. Not like I do with more like SNK games and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, from what it sounds like, from a balance point, things have definitely gotten a lot better with Ascent Core, and Plus R is looking to be pretty good as well.
Yeah, Accent Core Plus R looks really interesting. I can't wait to play it. I can't really say too much about, like, I've seen characters and I'm like, wow, that looks really good. But I've seen that from a lot of characters, so it's really hard for me to say who is, quote unquote, the best in this game. I know the Japanese already have, their early tier lists going, but that stuff inevitably changes.
Yeah,
So
I heard for a while that Zappa was the best, but
Zappa was the best before the most recent revision.
yeah, the
And
sword
I don't
nerfs.
know what all changed. I know the sword got toned down a lot because it was really ridiculous.
Full screen pressure.
So-
Just keep pushing.
Yeah, exactly. Not exactly fun for characters with low mobility.
That Potemkin hammer.
Yeah. But and the last thing I'd like to talk about on Guilty Gear is somebody mentioned the possibility of Guilty Gear being the opening attraction, if you will, for an Aftershock event in the future. Of course, this was all in jest, but I'd like to point out that NorCal doesn't have a Guilty Gear scene.
Oh my God.
That's what that was in jest.
Man.
So,
All right, I do not represent the NorCal Guilty Gear scene whatsoever. I do enjoy the game quite a
Is
bit.
it really gonna be Hano versus 5 people? 'Cause
Hey, we got
Listen.
BBZ. He seems to know what he's doing.
All right, hold on. Check this out though. The difference is that I'm willing to bet on a couple of matches that Hano might take him. My boy Rodrigo.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
I've seen him give you the pop. I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I don't trust everyone on Team SoCal, I'll bet on Rodrigo. But the rest of you, and by you I mean you, Chris.
I'm not even gonna be on this team. First of all, I will commentate and maybe like pass
Yeah.
up flyers
Yo,
or
man,
the
I'll
after
play on the team. I'll try and remember everything, all the gimmicks Mike Z uses, and then maybe I'll just backdash
Can't
Pot
remember all
Buster.
the gimmicks.
It doesn't matter. Backdash Pot Buster. I'll do it.
It's not a gimmick. That's a strat. We've talked about.
I know it's not a gimmick, but then when I do it, I'll do backdash into counter hit 2H, and then people
Nah, dude.
get.
If you want to be a real gimmick, you do backdash, hammerfall fake, then you pop buster.
now you're
I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'm still learning.
I mean, yeah, I really don't know who could play for NorCal. I mean, I'm not even including myself or Steve because we're still pretty much Midwest players. Like, I can name at least 10 people who could represent SoCal.
Let me see. I should put a call out to NorCal players. Like, who
Yo,
wants to
like BBZ, Rod, Chris. If you practice some more.
Are you guys really gonna let Scott play?
Ooh,
I don't think anybody
Yeah.
wants to see
I
that.
don't think anyone wants to see him play, but whatever.
I love Grand Viper.
With help, I talked to a few
I
people
love
about
Grand
this.
Viper.
Everyone does agree that if there is a NorCal SoCal, that Hell Pockets does need to be on it.
What the fuck? Why?
Everyone says that you brag about being like I was an old Guilty Gear player. I was pretty good at the game.
Yeah, didn't you
And
say you
on
took
top of
games
that-
off of Marlin?
Yeah.
Hey, didn't
Online.
someone go to Japan to play Guilty Gear? Who was that guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that was also you, man.
I said I went there and played it.
See, you went there to play Guilty
See,
Gear.
that's Because if I say I went there to play it, it would mean that he had to have gotten better, but he didn't.
A lot of people feel like you are pretty much the heart of the scene up there. Just
Yeah.
like in general, like everyone knows you from all the different scenes. They know who Hell Pockets is,
Yeah,
and
man.
they all want to see him get humiliated.
They must want to get humiliated if they want me on like a team for every fucking game.
Now, what I will say would be an awesome event would actually be doing East Coast versus West Coast.
That
Yeah.
would be.
That would be cool.
Are we talking, East Coast, West Coast, like state has to be touching the ocean status? Or can we,
Yeah, probably.
can we
I mean-
can we pull Coogie in there or something? You know?
I don't know. That would kind of have to be up to the rules judges. I'm not.
Yeah. What
Because
about
we did
what?
play
Yeah,
a
but
lot
what
with
about
West
you and
Coast.
Steve? You guys still claim Midwest?
Oh, that would be
Claims
shit, like
that we
like a
go.
full battle.
Hey, Midwest will take on all of you.
Yeah, Midwest will probably. Honestly, I feel like Midwest will probably win.
You know, hold on. How about this? Why not? Okay, if we can't set up anything soon, why not at Evo we do NorCal, SoCal, East Coast, Midwest?
That would be really cool if we could get it. I don't know if there'll be enough people from everywhere to do it though.
It's okay, guys. You can have a bye. It's called us in NorCal.
I was getting really sick if it was like the coastal battle, and then all of a sudden like 5 Midwest players drop down from the ceiling. Like all waters over.
Well, you know, and it's funny because we've never really done this. It never really happened either. There was one time that at Evo they did Midwest versus the rest of the country,
hmm
and the rest of the country won 5 to, man, was it 3? I can't remember.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
5-3.
basically on the back of Alex Garvin from Florida, because he beat like 3 or 4 people.
Damn.
And who was on each team? Do you remember?
Man, no, I don't. Midwest was AKA, Black Snake, I think Q, then maybe Elvin Shadow and Juicy G, and then the rest of it was Hell Monkey, Alex G, Flash Metroid, man, I want to say Marlin Pie, and one person I'm not remembering.
We'll say Hell Pockets just because.
It was Negro
It's
Ninja.
on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Actually. But
Yeah, I would really like to see that happen because, like, not just to promote the game, but also because it'd be good to see a lot of players come out and compete and shit. Because
oh yeah, it would be really cool.
Not to mention,
I
I'm
think
sure. I'm sure a lot of the Skullgirls guys. Maybe some of them had. Do they have any background in Guilty Gear?
Some of them do, some of them don't. I think it really depends.
it's kind of weird though, because like having a background isn't necessarily the same as like being as good as you were back then. You know.
That's true,
Like,
but I
well,
mean, still playing a game, while not necessarily that game, if you had at least a solid background and continued, I mean, a lot of ways things work translate to some extent. So obviously it's not going to be the same, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah, it's true. Like I know there's
Yeah.
there is a pretty big background for GG in NorCal. It's just that they all moved on to different anime games, and it's kind of like
yeah. What do they play
Isn't,
at Game
like,
Center?
Isn't Rod supposedly one of the best players in the country, according to himself?
well, I would agree he is.
So does he?
I
still
don't even
have
think
it?
he's the best Eno in the country.
I can think of two Enos that I'm pretty sure are better than he is right now.
Who
I
is
saw
he?
one of them this past weekend.
First
Well,
person
this
I
is-
think of is Minus Chaz from New York.
Well, I mean, I've never seen them play each other or even against in the same group of people. So
So you're saying you're not gonna back your boy?
I said I think he's one of the best players in the country. I don't know where he's not even the best Eno in the country came from.
I'm just saying.
So are you gonna bet on your boy?
Why is it gotta always
You know
come
what?
to
I'm just now, Rodrigo's not necessarily focused on stuff. He's got a woman now. He's got some real life things to deal with.
So you're saying you'd rather pay me with excuses and money?
I'm not even paying you with shit. You could pay you with my dick. Shit.
Damn, nobody wants that. Moving on.
That was fantastic. That was good.
What do we got up next?
Up next definitely is the news that just came out that DOA 5 Ultimate is going to have a free-to-play option when it comes out this fall.
yeah.
I
What
mean,
is
it's
that
free to play
for?
it in-
Is it for PC?
because I don't actually know. I just know that no, it's for the PS3. It's going to be free to play, so that's interesting.
Huh.
It's going to offer 4 characters. You're going to be able to bring all your costumes and stages and stuff from DOA 5 for free, but every other character after the 4 are gonna be $4 a piece, and then all the DLC costumes from normal DOA 5 are gonna be the same price.
Wow, this is an interesting way to approach a fighting game.
I don't see how this is a sell.
If it was with a better product, I could see it, but I do not see it.
Regardless of the product, like, this is a shitty like a business model for a fighting game. Because they've already said the cost per character. You get 4. There's what, like 27 characters in the cast?
Mm-hmm.
So at $4 a character, it comes up to over $100. Minus the 4 that you get for free. And then you have to pay for the story mode, assuming you're really into the fucking DOA lore, and you want to know what happened to, Alpha 152 or what have you. You pay that 15.
Because I didn't know what the hell that was.
That's a character, I think.
Yeah, it's like a clone of Kasumi.
Story mode is $15.
Yeah.
I thought that was a robot from Power Rangers.
There's other characters other than Kasumi? I won't stand for this.
They're all
Well, no, Alpha is the Kasumi clone.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That's like blue and made of jello.
Yeah, it's Jello Dural, basically, from
There you
Street
go.
Fighter. That's already over $100. And the fact that they've stated that this is going to be a free-to-play option, but there is going to be a retail version available when the game is released. That, I'm assuming, is going to have everything on it.
Mhm.
And that's, what, standard MSRP for a game going around $60 or so?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So why would anyone ever play, or ever pay, I should say, more, or almost double the amount of a fucking retail game to just slowly decide that they wanted to play all the characters?
Aren't they just repackaging? Like this is basically a demo, but they're repackaging it as a free-to-play model.
Yeah.
That's
Well-
kind of what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not so familiar with DOA 5 to say that Ultimate is a patch and that they're fixing the characters and there's enough being done to each individual character that it warrants a new version altogether. Because this is something that's been done before with, in recent memory, having Street Fighter 4 to go to Super. They released that as a whole new game.
Mhm.
And there was enough changes, I guess, to the systems to warrant a budget version of the game being sold at $30. But I don't know if Ultimate's going to have like move changes for the cast, or if it's just, hey, we're going to try this stupid business model, add 2 new characters, and then see if this all explodes in our face.
I think Ultimate is going to have changes to moves and balance changes and bug fixes, but the only real big thing I ever heard was the additional characters of Ein and Jackie. I haven't really looked too much into it. I think the business model is pretty dumb when you can just go get the entire package, but then maybe that's what they're trying to do with the, apply mental pressure to the people and just be like, hey, here's the free-to-play version. It more or less is a demo. You can, piece out what you want, or you can just go and buy the regular version, or, you buy all of this stuff and we don't care.
Well, you could like just get the free version and like wait a little bit, find out who's like the dumbest character in the game, buy her or him, and then you're good.
Well, from what I'm looking at it from my standpoint is that if I were to get back into playing Dead or Alive, I'm sure the demo or the pieced out, freemium version or something, I don't know, where is like, what is like the characters for the demo when they first came out, I think was like Kasumi, Hayabusa, Hayate, and what's her name? Hitomi. And I'm wondering if that'll be the same 4 that you get for free. Because in the event it is, maybe I will play it more because I like to play Hitomi, and I just won't buy anything while I play their game.
But how do you learn matchups?
Just play online.
Yeah, you could still play against characters you don't own. You just can't personally practice those characters.
Yeah,
This is interesting.
So assuming that they offer a player match option, which it would be dumb if they didn't, you can always just like call up your buddy. It's like, hey dude, did you buy Helena this week? Let's go.
yeah. Like I would get the free version. Just play, the character if I like that character. Not buy anything, and maybe like a couple months down the line, I'll see Amazon's got Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate for like $5, and pick it up there or something. I don't know. It's just like it's an extended demo. Like
Yeah, I think that the way this could work, if they're thinking about it this way, is the people who they already know they want DOA 5 Ultimate are just going to buy the box game, right?
Mhm.
So the only thing I think that they might be thinking is that all the people who don't think they want this game, maybe after playing the free to play, they might spend, you know, $4 or $8, and maybe to them that's worth it. You know, just getting that little extra money on the side. Because I don't see this being successful in the way that something like League of Legends is, because they don't have an ability to like level up to get you characters without real money. Like, that's how I feel like Riot invests people into the game, is that the longer they play, they actually get rewards for playing it. Like, you get to unlock characters.
Mhm.
And I don't see Koei Tecmo doing anything like that to really draw people into the game.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be interesting though, because I'll save it for after we finish up with this. But go ahead.
With no way to earn characters via in-game process, be it something ridiculous as, you know, win 1,000 matches in a row and you get 5 points to spend on a 45-point character, or any other stupid kind of achievement-based kind of thing, even if it was just wins and losses, it comes down to just money being spent. And Paul brought up that example of LoL offering you an option of either grinding out characters by just playing games, or dumping real money if you still feel that you want a character now and don't want to grind the matches to earn him.
Yeah.
So without that option, you're just kind of locked into eventually paying more than a retail price of a game.
Mhm.
And unlike what Riot has done for League of Legends, we still have yet to see from any really any company the kind of like devotion to special skins that the fan base really wants. I
Mhm.
mean, there are so many different skins playing League of Legends that people really enjoy and like, but meanwhile, like, the costumes in Street Fighter 4 are largely a miss. I don't think that the DOA stuff is that good either. I mean, I know that there are definitely people who bought the itty teeny weeny bikini pack, but I don't think it's generating the kind of revenue that something like iBlitzcrank generated.
Yeah.
Well, Namco with Tekken does a really good job of that stuff.
Yeah, but like, that shit is all free.
Yeah.
That's also true.
I feel like there's definitely opportunities being missed with what they're trying to do. Obviously, like Sanchez said, if you pay for all of it, you end up paying for more than the whole product at the end of the day. When in reality, I feel like things like digital versions should be cheaper, simply because, you know, no disc, no box, no art. You know, something that you can just get via the internet. Maybe not necessarily significantly, but if they had like a demo like this that was a game but lacking content, and then later you could be like, would you like to upgrade to the full version? You know, like a shareware almost. You know,
Yeah.
playing Doom on, you know, only the first story. You know, it's like, hey, get the other ones, unlock here. I feel like that could be something that would be good. Or, you know, yeah, obviously like a point unlock. And as gaming as a whole, I feel like the whole metagame aspect has totally had its point missed, or, you know, they're underutilizing it. So let's take achievements, for example, and gamer score, like an Xbox. When you get a game, you get an achievement, right? And that's supposed to lengthen the game for you, you know? But after you get all of the achievements, what do you get from that? You get the 1,000 gamer score and nothing, other than saying that I did this, I jumped through the hoops, you know?
Nerd.
I'm a good show dog, I did everything right. But at the same time, it's like, why didn't you do anything with gamer score? Or, you know, when you do an achievement, like Dead Rising has got to be probably my favorite Xbox game, the Xbox 360 game of them all. You actually, when you unlock certain achievements, you unlock things in game. I didn't have to pay money for it. It was just there, like extra costumes, extra things, you know? It was cool. It really felt like I was working towards something and not just a number. And at the same time, Gamerscore was underutilized in the sense that you should have been able to spend these points. Maybe you'd have to get a lot. Like, you'd have to, like, like buy games and you
Yeah,
know
like
after
redeem
10
them for
games of
something.
perfecting, you know, getting 1,000 points in 10 different games, then you would get something from it. You know, you could spend
Yeah,
those
it doesn't
points.
even need to be. It doesn't even need to be something real. It could be like a download code for something.
Yeah, like Club Nintendo is more or less kind of on that right now, where when you buy something, you can register the product and get coins in order to turn it into real life products or you know game downloads. But I still feel that that is missing like the whole achievement aspect. You can buy as many games as you want and get things for free, you know. So as long as you shell down enough dots, you can get what you want. But to actually work and achieve for something, yeah, you got the achievement, but you got the score, you know, with that. Maybe even have premium items you can only buy with certain game scores, you know? Like, oh, you beat this game, so you can have this unlocked, you know? There was definitely missing out, and people just looking
Yeah.
for so much for the smash and grab to not make something that want to play a game, but just have something extra so that your 3-hour single player game can be fleshed out because they have missing one achievement.
And the problem is that although people are starting to play games just to get the achievements, it doesn't encourage people to buy the game. It just encourages them to rent it, to use something like GameFly, and now you have all these companies like Microsoft being like, "Whoa, now we're going to cut out the used games market." When the problem isn't used games market, it's the fact that they're not making games worth a shit that people want to keep.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many quality titles on older consoles, and you know, people could say, "Oh, that's just nostalgia. Those games aren't long either." No, but you actually had to actively try. I mean, Mario, that game isn't too difficult, but the second one, The Lost Levels, that game is legitimately difficult. Sure, you can learn how to beat it and all that, and then you could probably beat it in 40 minutes, maybe less, but you still had to actively get better at it. When games that are 5 hours long, like Metal Gear Solid, and that tally up, you know, how much time you played by cutscenes as well, making you think that you've played a 20-hour game. Yeah, you've had a 20-hour experience, but you've only played about 5 hours. And I find that to be really ridiculous.
But we kind of veered off track. I guess the last thing I want to say on this is that I think Capcom might have done better if they had actually sold the costumes for Street Fighter 4 one by one, instead of forcing people to buy packs. Because, you know, there are people who definitely wanted, like, Mecha Zangief, but they didn't want the other crap that came with him.
Yeah.
What? You didn't want Durag Ryu?
No, I don't think anybody wanted Do-Rag Ryu.
Dude, Ryu just want to know where the hood at.
Look, I mean, like, Safari Blanca was pretty cool, but he's also the only cool Blanca costume.
Yeah. All the rest of them are pretty gaudy.
There was like 3 or 4 really good costumes, and then the rest were just fucking awful. Just awful.
Hey man, I got fan
And
service
don't get me started
Sakura.
on, like, the frickin' cross Tekken costumes where each game's characters are dressed as the other games.
They
That
look
was pretty
so
wild, yeah.
awful. Some of them. I mean,
They're
the
really
proportions and coloring was already bad for the character models in general, but how they tried to make it, it just looks disgusting. I think like one of the only ones I like is like Clown Brian. That one looks kind of sick.
wow.
Actually, Yuri and Brian doesn't look too bad.
I guess.
But even then, that game still looks like butt. Moving on.
I was just gonna say the ability to make your opponent make yourself look like a fucking light up bright billboard sign.
Oh my. No, that's awful. Like when it's like eye scaldingly bright and you can't even tell what's going on. Like I mean, you guys have played on CRTs before, right? Like bad ones that have like red bleeding all over the place. Like I'm sure there are people that still play on things like that, or like, you know, their plasma screens going out. I mean, that's just horrible. What were they thinking? Like, I understand giving customization, but to have like neon bright colors is just mad.
There should have been. You know how there's like filters on names, right?
Mm.
There's always been stuff like that. If you put like something really foul into a video game, Spider-Man comes down and punches your name away or something. Why couldn't they do that for the customizations in Cross Tekken? Like, if your name is like Blood God XXX69, and you start making all your colors to be all black Ryu with like blood red bandana and blood red key, like, you know, gi belt, you should just say no, stop, please. Go talk to your parents. Like, what are you doing? This is not right.
I do have to give special shout outs to Teddy Bear Kuma, because that's a sick Sick costume.
Yeah, like I was actually pretty jazzed when I heard about the neon colors because I was like, yeah, just maybe a patch of neon here on Brian's gloves, or Disco Brian just has some neon pants and the rest of their colors are the same. But nobody has that kind of class. Nobody. Everyone just has horrible taste.
The ability to do so was overwhelming. I couldn't help myself.
Everything had to be neon. I couldn't do it, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm done.
But so Gibby, you were saying there was some KOF action that I didn't pay any attention to over the weekend.
There was the run back, and then there was also the what was it, versus Mayhem that happened at Super Arcade.
Oh yeah.
Versus
that.
Mayhem. Well, versus Mayhem was supposed to be a 3v3 for KOF, Street Fighter, and Marvel.
Right.
All I heard about King of Fighters is that it was broken up into a singles tournament because not enough people showed to make it a team event. Because it was going to be 3-on-3. Every person uses one character.
Oh my god.
It was one of those things.
Yeah.
That seems to be mixed here. It either goes really well or it goes really shitty, one or the other, and everyone has different opinions on it.
Yeah.
But it ended up turning out to be singles. Renal took first. Renal took first. Mr. KOF took second, and Ricky Diaz took third. Those are the same exact results for the run back.
Solid.
So you can see there's a current trend going on with a lot of the tournament regulars now. Also, China held their EVO qualifier. I don't know the full list of results, but from what I've been reading, Shanghai won Street Fighter 4, and I believe he also won KOF. Dako took second in Street Fighter 4. I doubt they did Marvel, because I don't think they play it out there. That's about it for KOF that I can think of. Don't know if anything else happened.
That's kind of weird because like Shanghai and Dako are pretty much the only two people you pretty much hear about in that region in China. Like, I'm not saying that they're not, the best players out there, but at the same time, it's all like, well, what else is out there, Like, I remember in terms of Taiwan, like, Yang Yao Ren came out here and played KOF, and we're like, holy shit, this guy's amazing, and supposedly he's not even the best player in Taiwan.
Yeah, he's their Nappa, dude.
God, really? Did you have to do that?
That's the best reference.
It's not the best reference. It's a
Yeah,
terrible reference.
it's a good reference where it's like,
Hey, Vegeta!
oh, where are you gonna say he's the Raditz?
Oh,
No,
God.
he's better than Raditz, come on. Raditz wouldn't get top 8 at EVO.
Oh, apparently, according to RJ, 6 people showed up for KOF on Saturday.
Oh!
Yeah, I thought it was 9 people.
Oh, excellent.
Well-
Instant top 8.
Yeah.
Dang.
It must
Yeah,
have been around.
So I believe fourth was actually 4-leaf. Not 100% sure on that, but I do know he ended up losing to Ricky Diaz. So he could have gotten fourth.
Man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for KOF that I could think of. I know there were small gatherings in different spots in the around the country. Nothing major, nothing that I know of that got streamed. I know. Actually, Orochi Nagi did something. I think it was Versus Street or whatever the hell they do. I didn't catch any of it because I was busy. It's a Guilty Gear thing.
I believe
Yeah.
there was Nishi Nippori versus also this weekend. But I didn't get to catch that because I'm never awake when they stream that.
I wonder why. It's almost like they're on the other side of the world.
Speaking of that, Paul, did you talk about the people who came out of like hiding to watch the Guilty Gear thing?
No, I didn't actually mention it at all.
Okay. Yeah, we had like a bunch of old names that I haven't heard of in like years. I mean, like literally years. I've never been a huge part of the Guilty Gear scene, but I do know a lot of the names. And when you were saying some of the names, I'm like, whoa, where the hell I haven't seen.
Yeah,
or heard
there's
of this guy so
definitely in the last month or two, I've definitely either heard from or seen in person people I probably haven't seen in years.
Mhm.
So it's nice. It's cool. It seems like a lot of people are coming back out from under their rock and being like, "Hey, people are playing this game. Wow, that's crazy. I actually like this game."
Paul slowly coming out of his bitter cocoon. Hey, where's everybody been?
Oh, he's gonna blossom into a bitter butterfly.
A bitterfly?
There you go.
Bitterfly. Get the fuck out of my house. I love you. I don't mean to rewind a little bit, but I actually do have some KOF news that is shared by our good friend Henry the Professor. First up, KOF 13 Climax is going to be put on the Nessica Live system started late July.
Oh, nice.
That means it's pretty much digitally distributed, but this falls in line with a lot of SNK's prior practices of putting older games on Nessica just so they can sort of revitalize the interest in it, but not necessarily change that many things, and just make it easier for distributors and arcade owners to maintenance their system, I guess. But I don't think it's going to lead to any updates.
Yeah.
I wish.
Nice.
I mean, it seems like they're definitely primed to give that game like some kind of kick in the ass, especially considering it's getting really hard to support it out here.
You know what's funny is that KOF 13 is a game that is actually doing relatively well in the Midwest. I know I went to UFGT, I saw some of the action, and there's strong pockets of players cropping up, and yet SNK has given these guys nothing.
Right. And the reason why I say it was hard for us to support it is because we did it for an entire year and expected to hear something because we were like, hey, this game is big now, so let's get the ball rolling on some updates or like some news or some shit, right? Some official tournaments, and they went halfway. We got some official tournaments in Japan.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Wait, I gotta stand corrected. They did give us a bunch of like little video postcards with characters in the style of KOF 13 that aren't in the game. That was really cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, SNK is definitely King Cock Tease this year, man. They had the cards, and then they had the trophies for the actual game, which are 13 sprites of previous KOF characters.
So,
Man,
they exist in some form.
Speaking of which, since E3's coming up, I wonder if we'll hear anything out of them. They're always so
No.
quiet.
No.
SNK is like,
That's a good joke.
hey guys, King of Fighters 13. It's like, oh, cool. So quiet. It's so whispery.
hey, you got about as much chance of that as I had for the last 3 months waiting for Arc System work to actually say something about Plus R. So
Man, now you know how Europe feels.
I still think,
right?
I still think the
They
funniest
just got
thing is
Persona 4 Arena.
the excerpt announcement. Like you were saying, we were sitting there watching the entire tournament. It's like, yeah, new Blaze Blue coming to console. We got this anime and this visual novel that takes place like years after it or something. Good night, guys. It's like, oh, okay, I guess there was nothing else. And then the next morning,
Hey, oh yeah, forgot. 3 hours later. Oh yeah, here's the trailer for that new Guilty Gear game. I should have showed it at the tournament, but we were too busy eating shit.
They didn't show it was because of translations. They probably wanted to subtitle the thing. That's my guess. But even then, the subtitle wasn't all that great.
Okay, what else? Oh, also, Tokyo had its first console-only event last weekend. 47 players, including Tokido, MOV, Eita, and some other noobs, apparently, as Henry puts it, as well as Coco,
ooh.
who is apparently attending Evo this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coco's
wow.
supposed to be coming out.
That's neat.
Yeah. So all top KLF players, watch out. He's probably gonna run through us like butter.
Well, it depends. He went to France and sort of choked.
Oh.
I don't know.
There's a good chance the same can happen here.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure what I think about that, man.
The thing with this is my thing with the Japanese KOF guys. They're really good players, really smart players, but I don't think they're going to do as well as most other people under pressure. Because how many high pressure situations are they actually put in?
That's
Good
true.
point.
That's right. They're usually just playing their friends.
So that's one thing a lot of people forget. When Coco went to France, everyone was like, "Yeah, Coco's going to do really well. He's going to destroy everyone." Which he is one of the best players in Japan. You figure he would destroy people, but I don't know what happened.
People cracked.
Yeah,
And who did it? Didn't Kyabetsu end up winning?
I think so.
And he's a tournament player, so yeah.
Kibetsu, what, didn't he take 17th at EVO last year?
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
really well.
And he's like not even the top 8 in Japan, so
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm talking to some people trying to figure out all the names from Japan that are showing up. but right now it's everyone's a toss-up because they don't know if they can make it or not.
Right. And speaking of international tournaments, apparently Dune is trying to host an international event in Japan this winter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he wants to basically get all the best players from around the world to come to Japan and compete, and that sounds great. And, I'm interested in going.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Sounds great in theory. There's going to be way too much that goes into it. It's going to be difficult to get a lot of players out there. Like, say, most of our top players. Here in the States, the only ones who have a chance of making it that I could think of, Mr. KOF and Reynolds.
Yeah.
Players, it's going to be even more difficult for players from Mexico to get a visa to go to Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Korea will probably be back in there. Cafe It will probably show up.
Oh, of course. Yeah, they'll show up.
Hopefully, players from Taiwan and China.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. And finally, kind of harkening back to what we were back to the first item involving SNK. SNK Playmore announced they're killing off their ambitious SNS title Destiny of the Dragon. I've never heard of this game, so I don't know why you told me about it. But
it's a silly friggin' card game. It's pointless. It's good that they're killing it off. It would have been a waste of money.
All right, but apparently the idea got started in March and it's ending in July.
Oh, yeah, it's
Good job,
good
SNK.
that they
Doing
canceled
well.
it. Yeah, it's good that they canceled it now instead of putting even more money into it and then releasing it and losing money.
They can just morph the idea into a pachinko slot.
Shut up.
They should just,
Shut up.
they should just, license out more properties to Queensgate. I'm sure that'll make you tons of money.
And on the international tournaments news, Evolution now has a couple options on their page. You can actually swap games out or add a game if you've already registered for Evo, and you decide you don't want to play something. Maybe you want to play Injustice. Maybe you don't want to play. I don't even know. Maybe you don't want to play Street Fighter 4 because it's a horrible game. But you can. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not really kidding.
About what, Injustice or Street Fighter 4?
Maybe I'm joking about everything. You can go and they have a little tutorial on what you can do to add games to your thing or to switch one game for another. So I know that this is something I was thinking about doing about a month or so ago, so it's good that we have that. I know that in the past, people have wanted to switch games and they had to go directly through Wizard. So I'm sure that was a hassle for both him and them. So now it's nice that they have this all set up to where people can just transfer games.
My God. That's interesting, though, because that means at any given point before the tournament actually starts, I'm assuming, well, whatever the deadline is,
Yeah,
the attendance
I
level.
assume they're gonna probably stop it at the end of this month.
That'd probably be the best for the best. Cause, then there's only literally 14 more days.
Yeah, it's it'll be like 2 weeks at that point.
Yeah. Well, that means the attendance numbers could just dramatically shift if people are just really not into the idea of playing a certain game right now.
Like KOF 13, which I'm not playing.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, it could be KO 13 because it's sort of in its golden years passed by, I guess, or it could be
What was
Injustice.
that sentence we even just said?
I was trying not to insult the KOF players.
Well, that's why.
Well, actually, I think this is a good time to mention this. I am switching my entry from KOF to Marvel because I really like playing America's Fist of the North Star.
Yes.
I'm kidding. That game's complete trash, and you're an idiot if you like it.
Yes. Well.
Wow.
At the same time, I totally signed up for Skullgirls like a week or two ago. It's not on the main Evo site, but rather in the link I posted in the chat. So if you're going, you should sign up now. It's only $5 until June 7th, which is Friday. Otherwise, it'll increase to $10, and if you plan to register on site, it'll be $15. Also, you have to have a badge to actually get in and play the game, because otherwise, I don't know how you're going to accomplish that. But yeah. Definitely go.
And speaking of side tournaments, IE Battlegrounds and our good buddy Tomahawk are going to be holding a Soul Calibur 5 tournament at Evo. It's it's going to be an official side tournament. I don't know if it's going to be streamed on the main stage or whatever, but it's an official side event. So
Nice.
if you're into Soul Calibur and you do want to enter, not sure how to do it. Contact IE Battlegrounds and Tomahawk. I don't know how to contact Tomahawk if he's on Twitter or not.
No, he's not. He doesn't really use Twitter at all.
Oh,
There's probably going to be some upcoming information for that Soul Calibur 5 stuff because I think they're still hammering out
The details.
details as to where it's going to be held. If it's going to be something that's done in the ballroom, which would require you to get one of the badges, or if it's something that they're just going to hold in maybe a couple of rooms, or if they're going to rent out a suite and just kind of have it done there. So if you are interested in Soul Calibur 5, I would probably check out. Actually, I don't. Yeah, IE Battlegrounds is probably the best one because the only other site that would talk about it, I'd rather not mention.
Yeah, it's a good call.
yes, agreed.
But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, especially with a lot of different games want to kind of get a little bit of the spotlight this year at Evo, and I know they're already talking about with 9 games, they're not going to be able to show everything on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you mean there might be some kind of a decent little finals day going on day 2, with just other games that maybe weren't initially in, just kind of squeaking in there. So let's hope. It'd be kind of cool to see a lot of games that people haven't seen in a while. Here's hoping.
There's an answer for all this. 4-day tournaments.
Ah, yes. No, we should just
Also,
make
speaking of
we
side
should just make
tournaments,
Sunday longer.
Whoa.
Speaking of side tournaments, they're very likely is going to be a Mark of the Wolves side tournament. We have about 35, 40 players who are interested in doing a tournament for it right now. If you're interested, just message me on Twitter at Manchest. We're working
Make
on
sure
some
you
things.
capitalize the M.
Okay. We're working on a few things right now, trying to get things, ready. We need to know what everyone plays on, what they want to use. And, we're not sure if it's going to be in the ballroom or in the hotel room. If it's in a ballroom, once again, you will need a badge to be in the ballroom. So just remember that.
And if it's in the hotel room, bring Fade.
Wow. Anyway.
Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I guess that's it. Anybody got anything else?
I was just gonna talk about, being a good individual and supporting the community and not doing things that could ever do anything to scare people, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh, tell me more. What is this about being a good human being?
Well, more or less, like people were saying, in the fighting game community, sure there are games that maybe we don't necessarily agree or like or whatever, but we should definitely support each other, regardless of what happens. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the main important games, I suppose people would say, but I can respect what they do. I can enjoy spectating sometimes. And that's pretty cool. But feeding into people who essentially want to be the Fox News of the community, or trying to spread all this hatred, hate speech, and just using derogatory terms where I'm okay with people popping off or yelling at people, using curse words, that's fine. But when they get to become slurs or things like that, that really makes me sad to see that if that really where you want to go, you want to not just defend one person but rather a group of people, whether you wanted to or not. And at the same time, it's we're supposed to be a community and we need to stick together and not try and hey, there's an Illuminati out there, tournament organizers making $1 million trillion every second that you're at a tournament. It's how could there be an Illuminati, honestly? I mean, if there was, if there was though, I mean, how could it? You know what the fighting game community is? It's literally people that played fighting games and then decided, hey, let's just run events where we can play fighting games. This isn't Secret Service, Pentagon level anything. It's hey, do you like fighting games? Yes. Well, me too. Let's make events. There's no Illuminati or anything going on. I mean, what could there be? It's oh yes, Capcom will win because this is what we've decided and whatever. It's just why would you ever buy into things like that? I mean, if you want to believe it, that's fine. That's cool. I'm not going to say don't, because maybe there is something. I mean, what do we know? But I'm more or less thinking that there isn't. And at the same time, don't try and, scare people into thinking things, or be like, oh man, they're out to get you. These people are deliberately targeting you as an individual. So let's use all these fancy
Too
words.
long, didn't read.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't be a sheep, guys.
Just don't be.
Listen, all I got from your speech was that there's an Illuminati that's out to get me.
Well, I have a tinfoil hat you might be interested in. However, it will cost you 200 American dollars.
They're trying to take our sticks, man. They're just gonna come to our houses and take our sticks.
Dude, I would have won evil if it wasn't for these meddlesome kids wiring my stick backwards.
When
And
you're
for the
not-
fact that your game was at 9 a.m.
Yeah, dude. Like, people don't understand. I have a
really?
training regimen that I have to stick to where I practice every day when I wake up at exactly 10:31 a.m., forcing me out of my comfort zone to play at an ungodly hour. How do you expect me to win? I was sabotaged. Just because my game was recently introduced into a fighting game circuit, into a bigger event, way later than any other fucking game that's ever happened in history, I should have preferential treatment.
Makes sense.
I'm not touching all that.
All I'm saying is,
I have- I have 2 cents. I have 2 cents. It's not necessarily
have 2
about.
cents?
I have 2 cents. It's just 2 cents because it's been a rough week. But there has been an argument about that where people have said, like, I don't go to tournaments anymore to necessarily compete hardcore. Like, I still compete and I still love it, but I see tournaments as another way to meet people I haven't seen in a while and have fun and whatnot. And maybe I don't want to wake up at 9 a.m. because I've been drinking all night. And I can't. I literally cannot wake up at 9 a.m. because I'm hungover and I'm just not all there. And to that I say, don't fucking play. Don't.
No, I think you can play. Don't complain.
If you're gonna complain,
I have, a personal anecdote that might help over here. I definitely, the first year of Mortal Kombat, played in that tournament super hungover, had to take a 5-minute break to go throw up. I still made top 64, and I didn't complain once. So there you go.
beautiful. But I'm just saying, if you have a problem with that situation, like if you know that if the schedule set out months in advance was going to make you wake up at 9 a.m. and you were likely going to feel like shit because you had some of the X Factor, you probably shouldn't enter.
I mean, beyond the
Yeah.
jokes we can make about early starts and how stupid this all is, one of the points that Tony was, or our boy Walkmangs, was trying to get at is, if you do have a complaint with something, and you want to go on the internet and any public forum that'll have you to complain about it, feel free. If you feel compelled to do so, making a stupid video filled with hate speech and slurs, stop.
Yeah.
Just fucking stop. It's not cool. We should boot you and tar and feather you.
At the same time,
Tar and feather, man. I didn't even think about that.
don't be caught up in the bystander effect where you don't do anything about it. This is a community where everybody contributes. So, think for yourself, try and decide what is right and what is wrong.
And go out and actually listen to the viewpoints. More important than anything is go out and listen to the viewpoints of people that might be marginalized by this community.
Right.
Don't just take our words, because we're a bunch of guys sitting at various computers. We don't have the wealth of the world's knowledge.
Yeah.
Go talk to people who are targets of this speech, who have to live with it every day. Go get their opinions on it.
Especially before you
Don't just
decide.
listen to us.
Especially before you decide to wear the aggressor's initials on your fucking Twitter tag.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a bunch of fucking sheep doing that shit.
So
At the same time,
that
there was one thing I wanted to say. I don't remember what it is now. Something about. Gosh. Oh yeah. If there is like an Illuminati or any people out there getting tons of money, where are the facts?
Well, we hide them.
But how could you hide? How could you
Things
hide
hidden in this community, yes, excellent.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know we were a community full of all these Moriartys with these horrible puzzles, each one more puzzling than the last.
I've heard about more people snitching than keeping secrets, like breaking NDA and all that jazz.
Right?
Well, James Chin's a good example. James Chin tries to hide all that money that he gets for, running tournaments and commentary. Like, he only has one butler. Like, what the fuck? like most of us have like 5.
Have you ever been to his place? That's his butler's butler.
Exactly.
wow.
But he tries to hide that.
Yeah, dude, I went there and I seriously felt so uncomfortable in his place. Cause like every step I took, I was so close to knocking over another Fabergé egg.
You should go into the Ultra Chen TV chat and tell James to come on our show to answer these allegations of being Richie Rich.
Because honestly, I'm tired of covering for his ass.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
right.
he's been ducking too many shows. He needs to come on and answer these questions. Like, I want to know what tax bracket he's in. This needs to be transparent.
Because if he's dodging taxes, I need to know how he do that.
I also need to know how to do taxes, so if he can help me, that'd be very nice.
Yo, they have the easy form. It's not that bad. I still don't know how to do it.
I
All
think
right.
I
Well,
think
we've run into some stupid territory, so I'm cutting it.
That's
All right,
fine. That's fine. I didn't have anything to say other than a stupid one-liner, anyways.
Exactly. We're done. We're all done here. There's nothing to see. Please move on. The Illuminati is real. Anyway, so for everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, this is Super FX saying good night and good luck.
Baba Booey!